over here. They swap wins. Roger winning race number 1, Toni race number 2.
Can he draft him at the line?
I don't know, he's going to have to keep his championship hopes alive.
I did a lot of good things, and I'm very proud of them. But at this moment, I'm not having fun.
And Roger Hayden, he's trying this final lap.
He's trying to set him up for a big slingshot onto the front straightaway. Let's see what happens.
Here we go. It's the final corner. The race to the checkered flag, and Toni Elias will take the win.
At this moment, it's not coming. I don't feel it, and let's see what happens in the next hours.
So there you go. Toni Elias will take the win, and that will be the championship for Toni Elias, as he will take his first championship in the United States in MotoAmerica in the Moto Superbike class. That is his 9th win, and this is exactly the way Toni wanted to do it. He wanted to do it standing on top of the podium.
Well, I have a lot of good memories since the first time I arrived here. It's been amazing. I had great teammates, the best with Roger Hayden. We have an incredible relationship, and we had big fights also with Cameron. I'm very thankful to MotoAmerica to give me the opportunity to be in this championship. It's been one of the nicest moments of my career, and always will be amazing to have these memories, and yeah, that's it.
Previously on Pressure to Rise. The resurfaced track at Road America proved to be fast as lap records were notched each session.
A 2:10.4, a 2:10.4, and folks, we have a new outright track record here. P.J. Jacobsen.
That is a new outright Road America track record at a 2:10.4 on race tires.
Road America did such a good job repaving this place. It is like glass smooth out there.
The fastest third sector we've seen up the hill. Does he do it this time? Better at 2:10.373. Boom! A 2:09.
Sounds like a spaceship going by there.
This is going to be a massive lap. Where will it put him at this stage? Does he go to the top? Boom! 2:09.111. Josh Herrin on pole and with a new track record.
You know, getting the lap record is way bigger than a pole position. I think I've gotten one on a Superbike. I've gotten one at COTA now, which I'm sure it's been beaten, but we got one at COTA. We had one at Laguna that I think we still have, and now the one at Road America. So to me, that's special, because that's being able to say you're the fastest bike to ever go around that track.
First rider to ever get in the 208s here at Road America is P.J. Jacobsen, a 208.7.
It's a used front and a normal race rear.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was out there all session. Right?
Yeah, ran the whole session. We were just testing brakes this morning. Apparently the brakes work.
Josh Herrin gets the win in race 2 and tightens the top of the point standings after both Cameron Beaubier and Jake Gagne suffered a DNF on the weekend.
I was able to improve my times as the race went on, and I think do my fast lap of the race on the last lap. And that was, I think, because I was like very nervous about the tire, and once I realized that it was good, I started then kind of putting my head down.
Richard Stanboli's Yamaha team had a rough weekend all around, but both riders were able to salvage some points in race 2.
Popped open some new cans of fuel that were apparently from a different batch, and it ran quite different than what we had tested before. And our bikes are very much on the edge, so when they make a change and we don't know about it, then it affects our performance. So we decided, you know what, let's peel back, let's make sure we don't hurt anything, and we'll pick it up where we left off.
Matthew Scholtz struggled in Wisconsin and looks to regain his confidence.
It was a bad weekend for us, so we kind of got spun out a little bit, and I started doubting myself a little bit, like at this stage I don't want to be that far back.
Despite finishing 8th in race 2, Richie Escalante keeps making strides and looks primed to get a podium finish soon.
This is a guy who has found that next level. Both he and the team have found that level here.
They are really starting to build.
PJ Jacobsen had a pair of second-place finishes and has some momentum coming into this round.
After yesterday, my confidence was pretty good. I had a really good morning warm-up, like breaking the track record this morning. So I was super pumped for our race too.
Road America was filled with fans and plenty of drama, but no one was quite ready for a beloved rider to announce he just rode in his final race.
Today was my last dance, my last race.
Just want to wish Toni a great retirement. It's better than you think. You're gonna miss it at times for sure. Man, I love being teammates with you. We had so much fun, so many good memories, so many ups and downs in life that we were there for each other. But most importantly, man, we had a great time, some great battles, and just like we talked about, when you announced your retirement in the text, man, we're gonna be buddies forever.
Man, Toni, congrats on an amazing career. We definitely had our ups and downs, our battles. Looking back on everything, it was amazing, but you made me such a better rider when you came over here. You really made me rise to the occasion. I'm just super happy for you, man. Go enjoy your life with your lovely wife and your kids, and yeah, all the best.
Toni was such a good teammate. We had so much fun in the trailer together, and I have so many videos of him dancing, or even at the end of the year when he was talking about, trying again to beat Bobier the next year, sending me drunk texts. He's a super nice human, and he's a lot like me, where on the track he gets angry fast, and he's just so into it that he says and does things that maybe 5 minutes later he regrets, but it's just emotion and it's raw, and that's just how he is. And I respected that because I just knew that I was kind of like that.
It was an absolute honor to ride with the guy that beat Rossi at his peak, won a Moto2 World Championship. When I started racing, he was at the top of the World Championship, so I'm glad that his final race ever in the MotoAmerica Championship, myself and him went backwards and forwards, banging bars at the Road America track.
He was one guy that every single session, if I was behind him, would tap his rear unit and say, hey, follow me, and always try to help me out. Toni, thanks for everything you've done for the sport, and go enjoy your life, go enjoy your kids and your wife, and I'm sure we'll see you around soon.
We all eventually have to do that and hang it up, but hopefully he can mentor somebody else coming up through the future, but yeah, good for him.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you at Chuckwalla. Hopefully you come out and race with us a little bit at CVMA, and best of luck in wherever you go next.
All the best to him. I think an amazing career. So I'm happy to race with Toni, and also for a couple rounds working as a teammate. Thank you, Toni.
He's always been a really cool dude to me. We've always got along well. I practice my Spanish with him, which is about 6 words. Wish him the best in the future, and heck of a guy. So, felicitaciones, Toni.
The Ridge Motorsports Park, just outside of Seattle, is the 4th stop of the season. The 16 turns and 300 feet of elevation will be a great test to see who can rise in the standings as the middle of the season approaches.
When I was first here, there were some big curbs that almost like berms to hit. in a lot of the spots on the track, and those are all gone. There's really good curbs. It's a proper racetrack right now. I'm definitely happy that I have some laps logged around this place because it's pretty tricky. It's tough to learn. There's a lot of blind corners that sneak up on you, especially in the first section, and then obviously the last section. It's so slow, but you really have to like nail your line. It's really easy to lose time here.
Cam Peterson had a rough night and is on the back end of fighting off a stomach bug.
It seems like every single weekend we go to this year, the first day is a little bit of a show. And last night I just middle of the night woke up, started throwing up all night, been throwing up all morning. So yeah, just feeling really dead and flat. Just trying to find my feet. Honestly, it's been such a rough start to the season, just trying to build back up to it. But I always feel pretty mellow, pretty chilled. So I don't think it's got anything to do with nerves. Otherwise, it would have happened throughout the day, But I'm slowly getting better, so we'll see.
Corey Alexander heads into the Ridge, hoping for continued progress.
Trying not to get frustrated. That's probably the number one goal. Is just we went from winning almost every race in Superstock last year to struggling for top 8s, and so it's just part of the process, and just being comfortable with having to suck a little bit for a while. So it is what it is. But the team's behind me, and my guys are working really hard, and they're learning as well. I think a lot of people don't realize I didn't just jump into a Superbike team, and the guys weren't the guys that were there last year. They're my Superstock guys. It's me working on myself with the riding, and then those guys getting it figured out. And I think we're at the part of the season now where I like these next few tracks coming up. We did really well at them last year. I think if we can, just keep chipping away at it, and I can keep getting better. I'm at a point now where I need to start pushing and getting some results, but we're getting there.
On his cool-down lap at Road America, after winning his first Superbike race since 2019, Josh Herron made a gesture that ended up getting him fined $2,500. He turned it into something positive by organizing a fundraiser to benefit the Road Racing World Action Fund.
It was actually Rachel's idea. She kind of brought it up, and I was like, man, that's a good idea. I thought, okay, maybe it'll raise $1,500, $2,000. And when I posted it and kind of spun things around, it ended up working out good, and we raised like $7,000. So I wasn't doing it towards any fans. I never would. It was kind of just like a yes, like I literally just did it there, top of the hill in 6th. It is what it is. I was just full of adrenaline and emotion, and just I'm glad that we were able to donate some money to the Action Fund and get a laugh about it.
So far, it looks like the track must be pretty decent. The 600s are pretty much right on pace already. This is just quicker than they went last year in FP1.
It's not going to be anything crazy different. It's just going to be a different feel though. So.
Just for doing lap times, this is that form I was talking about. So this is the lap count. This is the amount of fuel used on that lap. So if we have 18 liters, when we get down here, we got to start getting worried. This is the amount of time it'll take to do that many laps. Okay?
Okay, just remember the brakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
30 seconds, let's rock and roll.
Bobier comes in right away with a shifter not working.
Quick shifter's not working, or auto blip.
So the shifter, did we learn the gearbox?
We were actually trying a different software we got from the Alpha guys in BMW that Peter brought over.
There's not enough free play in this cable. When if it's too tight, then he can go and accidentally go to neutral.
It's supposed to help us a little bit on the engine brakes side, which we tried this afternoon, and it did. So that was good.
Can you shift? I have nothing.
We need to test it on the stand running. No. I didn't hear it, did you? Did you hear it?
No. Need to swap these shoes.
Okay.
the Tytler's crew swaps out electronic components and isn't quite sure things are working properly.
Just an issue with the new software that's untested. So I give them a couple shots and then we'll go back to the old one.
Yeah, they had just a little technical issue with it this morning, but they got it all buttoned up. And yeah, it was a bummer we missed a little bit of time at the beginning, but I mean, it is what it is, and we made the most of it, so.
Peterson is getting the feel of the new pavement through turn 14.
How's the bump compliance everywhere else?
Feels okay everywhere else. It's just coming down the hill through those little
bumps there.
That's kind of.
I'll open the rebound up, see if we can soften the blow a little bit.
Okay.
It just feels like
Yeah, it does feel just a little bit harsh out there.
No, hang on, not yet. John's gonna put a little more air in the front tire because it's a little bit lower than what we thought. You got your tire gauge? Tire gauge? I have it, yeah. Frank, 2 or 1? One more. Whatever it is, one more up.
We'll do a long run on it. We'll start with this one and do a long run the next one.
Tomorrow morning, I don't mind. It's just my stomach's all.
Yeah.
Here comes Matthew Scholtz over the line now, and Scholtz goes second fastest, 32 100ths of a second between him and Gagne.
That's a start for him. And now we're going to take the next couple of sessions off so we don't wind it down.
Dude,
that was really
that
good.
is the best opening session we've had at this place ever.
We're applying a little bit of science like we used to do with Dane when he rode, which is we take our worst track and make it our best.
Leave me hanging.
Oh, sorry. I missed it.
Chassis crew chief electronics are really all clicking well in a clear direction.
Gonna need plastic surgery to remove the smile from my face right now. Brother. F***ing awesome, Matt.
Westby is feeling good after finishing the session P2, 0.03 of a second off Gagne in P1.
Good job, man. 1/10 off pole.
Escalante ends up P3 and only a 10th off Gagne.
So my expectation this weekend is a height. You know, I think I feel good on this track. It's more technique, more corners. So that's good for the Suzuki bike, and I'm happy for the job today.
Alexander ends up P7 once again, while Josh Herron only puts in 6 laps and sits P8.
I just feel like I can't get away from 7th place. It's like last weekend, Road America, we got 7th, and like now today, I'm like 0.49 or something off pole, still 7th place. So it's like we got a lot closer to the front, but the position didn't really change. I know that we're in a lot better of a place, but on paper it doesn't read like it.
Replacing the retired Toni Elias for this round is Dunlop test rider Taylor Knapp.
Toni is a top gun, whether he thinks it or not, he's a top gun. He just got rolling, and he stopped. It was like, we started making progress, and then Road America comes, and yeah, are you kidding me? Unfortunately, you know, maybe the results didn't come as quick as he wanted them to, but he took 2022 off. And it takes longer than 3 races to get your mojo back, but it is what it is. I'm happy for him that he's made that decision, ended on a high note, and we wish him luck in his future endeavors. And you know, we're still helping him out with some stuff, and so we're in an interesting position because we're the factory Suzuki team, and so we cannot have any rider that is riding in any other category, say baggers, ride the motorcycle. So that eliminates a lot of guys that are pretty darn good that have extra time during the race weekend. So Wayne Taylor had a lot of experience on the tires, had Superbike experience. He was a rider we felt like we could put on for a weekend and go see how he could do. And then by the time that happens, or maybe we stop being paralyzed by indecision and go figure out what we want to do.
Another replacement rider is Bobby Fong, who is riding David Anthony's Yamaha this weekend.
Bobby Fong making a return to Superbike. David Anthony, who's been running the Superbike category, asked Bobby and said, I'd like you to ride that bike. It's the real deal. It's current stuff. It's really trick. I'd like to get you out there and do it. And Bobby said, okay, let's do it. And the way Bobby reacted to it, it sounds like this might be more than a one-off if it goes well.
Corey Alexander crashes early in turn 14 on the new pavement.
There's just some bumps in the last segment, and I think a few guys actually went down. I like picked my bike up and I turned around and some guys sliding at me. I'm like, I didn't know if there was oil down or what, but I think it's just really bumpy in that one particular spot. So fortunately it was on the second lap. I was able to pick the bike up and just ride right into pit lane, and they got it fixed for me. They thrashed, and we still were able to get out with like 20 minutes left, so we still got a pretty good session in. And I think had we not had that, we would have been able to make some more changes that we needed to make, but it is what it is. We still improved our time. I think it went like 5/10 faster or something, so still improved our time. Just kind of curious to see what the guys are going to do tomorrow. I know overall the pace is a little bit slower than it was last year, so been waiting for Jake to kind of drop the hammer and do what Jake does, but hopefully not. Hopefully this is all he's got, and we'll be close, and it'll be a good race.
Do some skids and wheelies, homie.
Gagne goes to the top now.
It looks like he's going so slow.
Yeah.
You know, compared to the other guys, he's just so patient and able to not rush these corners. And like, you know, just watching him, it doesn't look like he's a half a second quicker than everybody else watching him on that lap, and he comes through at 40.7.
You're gonna need to go into the 40s for front row, but if you put all your best sectors together, you'll get there.
Okay.
Later on, Cam Peterson crashes in the same spot.
Had a good feeling on the motorcycle, and then unfortunately in the second session just put a new tire on, went to go try to put a lap in, and unfortunately crashed on my first flying lap.
It flipped over, but not bad. Let's see what it gets like. Probably need a windscreen and a couple things. He's riding it back.
Boys did a great job, put the bike back together, and allowed me to go get at least one more flying lap in, and yeah, I think I put myself pretty close to the time Jake did. So all in all, a good day, just ready to feel better.
PJ Jacobsen crashes in turn 11 with only a minute left in the session.
I just have a very weird feeling with the grip here, and then every time I get confident with it, then something happens, or I have a bunch of moments. Yeah, I'm a bit lost with my whole front end situation, and that's a huge thing for you know, going around the track and stuff and doing like fast lap times. So I kind of feel like I'm just like, you know, floating out there, and I'm just riding around. I'm not really being able to ride to my best ability, just because I don't have the front end confidence right now.
Do you think it's grip, or do you think it is flexing the tire, like the tire is squishy? Or do you think you're actually at the limit of the grip? Or do you think the tire is flexing around and that's what's causing it? If we're at the limit of grip, we need to try the softer front, like the R0.
Oh, the softer one.
Yeah, well, I'm asking questions. I'm not saying that's what we should do. If the tire is flexing and the carcass is squirming around under braking and give you that like feeling, then we probably need to try the R5. If you're going in and the thing's just flat out blocking, we might need to try the R0.
Despite being only 2/10 off the top lap, Scholtz drops to P5.
The top 7 is like 0.2. It was awesome.
Okay, but if we'd done front and rear, it would have been a different story, so it's good.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all right.
I missed that lap, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Another little step tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
The weather continues to be near perfect as Saturday morning rolls around and teams prepare to chase time.
So see if we can get 4 good ones on the first tire.
Okay.
Then come in for your first Q run.
Okay.
And then we got a 0 after that. Okay?
Sweet.
So that'll give you a little bit of a feel for what we got going on with the front end.
Go out there, tear it up, then you come in again, new front, Q rear, and dominate.
Cameron Beaubier comes through turn 13 down the hill. He won, of course, on his racing return, and Beaubier is pushing hard. How good is it to see the number 6 back in Medallia Superbike?
Just like at Barber for round 2, the Tytler's crew changes the swing arm during a session.
Since the boys are so good at it, I figured why let all that talent go to waste? We're changing swing arms like other teams change a shock.
Ferdy and Seb, they changed my swing arm in 5 minutes. It's incredible. I'm glad I have some good mechanics over there, and we did a really good back-to-back comparison, and both of them have had pretty similar grip, I'd say, but we ended up going with the new one, and I feel like it was a good step once the tire dropped.
Getting a little bit more squat, like I feel like my drives were getting better, like maybe with a softer spring, like it actually wanted to squat and hook up a little bit more.
Okay, so I can actually, because you're going to go out with the Q tire, I don't want to change anything now because it'll give it a little more bite anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so. But yeah, talking with you in the past, and you need that to get that feeling to go.
Like I wonder if we could even go a little bit more in that direction on the race tire.
Yeah, we
like
can.
A little small step.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, for sure. I'll have a look at the data because, like I said, it was a ways away from where you were last year, so I would like to get back in that range.
Yeah.
Josh Herron now in a really good lap. Looks like he's 3/10 under. Right now, if he can keep it going, it could be the first rider into the 39s.
Yeah, and of course the 39.1 is the outright circuit record. 39.8 is the race lap record, and it's a 39.863, and that's under it. That is under the race lap record.
Funny thing is, I went into this weekend telling myself I didn't even have a goal for the race. My goal was just to be on the front row for the race, because I saw Petrucci last year struggle with some of the starts. That's all I care about. I don't care if I have to throw the bike away to do it. I'm going to be on the front row. Gagne's for sure going to go faster, so I need to push because I want to stay on the front row. And now that I know I can be pole, I want to go for pole.
Pushing to better his time, Herron crashes in turn 8.
You never know how things are going to work out. I could have just sat the rest of the session out. We would have ended up on pole. I did the same thing I did every lap going into there, but the only thing I can think of is I just didn't get enough wear on the front tire on the out lap, because with the qualifying tire we kind of go slow on the warm-up to save the rear tire because it's so soft, and I would have been below lap record pace. I was 3/10 under the lap that I did before, and so maybe it was just found the limit.
When you have a big crash like Josh, it's really difficult. I mean, you got to think, he had that big crash that he had, and his next lap was the race. He didn't get another session to work his way back into it. The team had to rebuild a brand new bike. Bike never seen the track before the lights went out. And, and you're beat up and you're sore. You just got to put it out. I used to always say, man, I've been to this corner, 200 times, and I only crashed this once. So my odds are pretty good, and just go out there, put my head down. If you ride scared, more mistakes will come.
Got nothing. Ah, she's got nothing.
The Westby crew couldn't get the bike started.
Hold on.
Like the button's stuck. Hit meter. Nothing.
Can we push start, yeah? The button was dead, so we had to push start him. Try it again, Robbie. Okay.
Pushing.
Just put it into first and just
Second. Yeah.
Second.
Just go blap, blap, blap.
Did it! Jump!
The only thing that 4 or 5 guys should be on like that is probably a keg of beer. Definitely not the tail section of an R1.
I didn't know how many guys were actually pushing me, but I'm just running down the pit lane trying to bump start the thing, and apparently it was quite a big spectacle.
Oh no.
Scholtz realized something still wasn't quite right and had to return to pit lane without a chance to use the Q tire.
Oh, for f***ing sake.
It's like the pit lane limits are stuck on. He had his personal best, sector 1, sector 2, and then the bike cut out. So, yeah, it was just too late to do anything about it, and it was just the worst possible time. But that kind of set the tone for the races, honestly, being P7 on the grid, but disappointing.
For the second round in a row, Herron gets pole. Corey Alexander with his best qualifying spot in P5, and his teammate PJ Jacobson struggles and ends up P8.
Looking at the lap times from this morning, I think we got all the pace we need to run with these guys. Get the thing off the line well, get to work early. We're in this fight.
And it looked like Beaubier got off the line really well on the number 6 bike. As they go into turn number 1, Herron's going to lean on everybody and he'll lead the way. Beaubier side by side with Peterson trying to find position. But it's Gagne who comes out on top. The number 1 plate, nobody in the field except Gagne and his team wanted to see it. Beaubier's in 4th.
Cam Peterson works his way right there. You see him, Greg, in 3rd.
From then on, kind of put my head down, was able to break just a couple tenths, a lap here and there. As the guys were sorting themselves out behind me.
Look at Herron down that hill. This is where he had his problem early. You saw the drive that Ducati had, and look at this, Greg. We are seeing these guys not letting Gagne get away. Herron had a notion there to try to squeeze up underneath Gagne. He's trying to put pressure on the number 1 early.
I think Jake has forced everybody to step up a lot the last couple years, you know, just kind of dominating, and, you know, nobody wants to see that. You're seeing some riders now starting to have some crashes and start to making some mistakes because everybody's on that ragged edge.
Beaubier passes Peterson on the 2nd lap and is charged toward the front.
I was like, oh man, like I'm gonna have to try to pass Cam somewhere. He had some pace there at the beginning.
Herron runs wide and loses 5 positions.
I just couldn't get it to downshift and ended up, you know, going really wide. I almost went off. I should have just ran off because it's really slippery on the edge out there. I don't know if it was a mechanical thing or if it was just me not being able to put enough pressure because my foot was hurting.
And there's that line I was talking to you about. You see how Gagne jumps that curve on the way down?
It's 2 bike legs. Oh, it looks like Cam Peterson.
Cam Peterson just went down. Same place as he did yesterday.
Like 4-5, down turn 14, riders up.
It's super frustrating for me, you know. There's nothing more in this world that I hate more than crashing a motorcycle on the weekend. So I feel sorry for the team, and because I've done this quite a lot this year.
Beaubier has chipped away at the gap to Gagne.
He has closed this gap down now to probably 0.4 of a second, 0.3 actually. 41-1 for Jake Gagne. Beaubier still in the 40.
Oh, no! And down goes Cameron Beaubier, and that started early in that corner. And Cameron Beaubier, who's 2nd in the points by 12, is going to lose a heap of points to Jake Gagne.
Got bike 6 down the chicane.
Red flag.
Red flag, red flag, red flag. All stations go red, all stations go red. Red flag, red flag, red flag. We have hay bales in the track.
I was riding my balls off. Like I was riding as hard as I could. I felt like I was taking like a 10th or 2 tenths out of Jake. Every lap, it was just enough to like keep me sniffing. I watched the front, and it's a bummer.
That's a race.
Yeah.
What happened?
Cameron fell down in
Is
the
that him
first.
behind me?
Yeah.
And with 2/3 race distance complete, the race is called.
They red flagged it because the hay bales went out into the track.
Sorry, guys.
That's right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he just slid
Got a
off.
fence or something?
Yeah, slid off and took the hay bales out into turn 2. That's why they had to red flag it.
Jake Gagne takes the win. Matthew Scholtz, who was in 3rd when Beaubier crashed, is awarded 2nd, and Josh Herron, who worked his way back into 4th, is awarded 3rd. Corey Alexander secures the best finish of his rookie season in 4th, and Richie Escalante takes 5th.
It was a bummer to see Beaubier go down like that, of course, because it would have been a good last 3-4 laps, I think. It would have put on a show, but yeah, I guess luck was on my side a little bit on that one, so we'll take it any way we can get it, and yeah, got a win, which is always nice.
Beaubier was given a 20-second time adjustment under a new rule in 2023. The 20 seconds was the amount of time from when he crashed until he remounted his motorcycle. He scores 9 points and finishes P7.
You never want to see your friends crash. It's one of those things. I'm sure I'm going to end up on the deck somewhere. This is part of motorcycle racing. I still don't feel that I've found the limits of the setup that we have now, so that's really gives me a lot of confidence. So we're kind of able to push forward, and just looking forward to the second race.
We were able to walk away from a really bad situation and have our heads high and get some points and smile. And that's the big thing. Like I said on the podium, it's the days that you really don't want to push, but you push, and that's when you get the gains. And I feel like we really got that today.
For some reason, I feel like, when you try to go past that limit, past your walls, things tend to happen. So it's definitely part of the learning curve, but I feel like, where I'm at now, I shouldn't be having to deal with that.
To be this far up the field at which would be considered the worst track for me, was just awesome. And I know that I'm going to have my work cut out for me in the second race, but I think we can definitely take the positives from this race and work on that.
I miss the feeling. More like, I think, 26 races. I need a podium to keep, just to feel the podium, and I forgot for the moment.
It's nice to not have a DNF on the sheet and get a couple points, even though it's not what it could have been. But we're still fighting.
Even though I'm getting a little bit older compared to some of the guys out here, that I still got the fight in me to go through the pain, and things happen. This is racing.
Time to get racing Medallia Superbike, race number 2. Revs are up, here we go. And we're away racing. And another good launch from the front row as Beaubier trying to sweep around the outside, but it's going to be the number 1 plate of Gagne who gets position, and Beaubier tries to go up the inside of Herron. Can't get that done.
Got a couple riders down in the back. One's Nolan Lampkin. Don't know who the other one is. 38, maybe Volga Murma is also down, so both bikes are down.
Gagne repeats race 1 with the whole shot and tries to make another early break.
The starts have been awesome, so I got off the line good, led out of the chicane, which was nice, kind of put my head down, and again, just tried to click off laps that were consistent and not try to make any mistakes.
Herron runs wide on lap 2, allowing Beaubier to pass.
Beaubier goes up the inside, and he'll grab the spot for the moment. And now Josh Herron's going to fight right back. But can Beaubier square it up? He does. Now this is a battle of racetrack position. And Herron, really, really good drive. Goes right around the outside, but Beaubier's able to maintain it.
The two fight for second, but Beaubier makes it stick and charges toward Gagne.
I think once Beaubier got into P2, that gap closed immediately. I knew he closed in on me quick. I could hear him right behind me. I knew it was him, and I think he kind of just sat there and we were watching what I was going to do and waiting.
And when you start to look at what Cam's got going right now, over half a second quicker in the first split, he is reeling Jake in.
Scholtz suffers a minor crash and retires from the race. Beaubier is able to overtake Gagne for the lead with 5 laps to go and begins to pull away.
So I guess Gagne's said, all right, that's all I got.
Beaubier wins by a margin, while Gagne finishes second and Herron takes third once again. Escalante finishes in 4th, and Corey Alexander rounds out the top 5.
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
Chuck! Oh, no, okay. I didn't know if there was anybody here. Sorry.
Jake Gagne leaves the Ridge with a 1-2 finish and increases his points lead, while Beaubier also takes a victory. His 7th place finish has him 23 points back from Gagne in 2nd overall.
So before the race, we're on the grid, and I said to Cam, I said, well, do you have a plan? And he goes, yeah, I was talking to Jake before the race, and the first thing that came to my mind was Gagne. And I'm like, well, why the making a plan with him? Like, that's not how it's supposed to work.
No, wrong Jake, wrong Jake.
I figured it out after a second, but it just threw me for, that's the first thing that came to my head, like, what? That's not what I meant.
We had our spots where I was better and he was better. It's weird when you're like that because you yo-yo so much, but I think that's what's so cool about MotoAmerica Superbike right now is, I mean, we had three different manufacturers on the podium. Like, when's the last time that's happened? I mean,
Second is all we had in us today. A couple areas where he was pulling me, a couple areas I was kind of reeling back in, but eventually, like towards the end of the race, I just didn't have the pace to roll with him. So hats off to Beaubier, man. He ran a really great race today. It's cool to see we're in such a tight championship hunt.
Yeah, just got to get healed up, man. That's my #1 focus right now. I got a flight tonight, and tomorrow I'm going to be going and starting whatever I can to get better. Not going to be able to train a whole lot. I'm just going to work on recovering and spending some time with the family because they didn't get to come to this weekend. I may sound bummed, but I'm just in a lot of pain. I'm actually really excited and really proud of my team and myself for the job that we put in yesterday and today.
Despite a few injuries from his Q2 crash, Josh Herron sits solidly in 3rd after a podium finish in both races. There's no change in the order of the top 6 in the standings. Corey Alexander takes over 7th ahead of Cam Peterson. With 3 races at Laguna Seca next, there's plenty of opportunity to score points.
Road America, pretty much every corner is 90 degrees. Just run it in on the brakes and get a good drive out. Whereas you come here, it's all of these long linked corners that if you make a mistake or choose a wrong line in one corner, you're paying for it for the next 30 seconds of the lap because everything feeds from one corner to the next corner to the next corner.
It feels good to be at a track like this though and be able to pull off a win and not have somebody say, oh, the bike's just a rocket ship. I'm pretty happy with that.
Some positives to take away from the weekend is that my pace was good in the first race, and even in the second race I was kind of there for a little bit. So some positives to take to Laguna, and you know, I think we've got a good understanding of what we need to work on, and yeah, like you said, let's try to build on that one podium for the season and get this ball rolling.
We made some big steps with the setup, so we've got to really concentrate on that and take that to the Laguna and keep building because, yeah, that was a disappointing day. We feel we didn't really use the potential we had, and when the team does that, that's really disappointing for me. So, yeah, we've got to take the positives, move to the next round, we'll be back up front and get fighting again.
It's pretty easy to get wrapped up and try to, you know, force issues, but we don't need to do that. It's a long season. There's lots of things that can happen. Words of Nicky Hayden come to mind. That's why we line up on Sunday to race.
We made a massive step forward with the bike. The turnings are a hell of a lot better. So really looking forward to getting to Laguna Seca. It's one of my favorite circuits. We ended up doing pretty well there last year, and I feel with the step forward we've taken with the motorbike now and the new tarmac, it should be good for us.
3 different manufacturers rose on the podium at the Ridge. Will there soon be a 4th? The pressure mounts as the season rolls on.